everyone, I'm Melissa McAllister, and you're listening to the Melissa M.A.D.E Show. Now, for decades, I've dedicated myself to helping women break the cycle of dieting, navigate through all the fads, and change their lives through my nutrition coaching. Now, each week, I'm going to talk about everything from deep nutrition, mindset, self-care, the ideal workout routine, tips on how and why to implement intermittent fasting in your life, my favorite recipes that are not only crowd pleasers, but they're actually healthy for you, and so much more. Now, with small and consistent changes, you can defy aging while living a happier, healthier, and more heart-filled life. I'm so excited to show you it's possible with the right strategies that are so simple to adopt. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Melissa M.A.D.E Show. And today is just going to be a quick solo podcast on me kind of talking to you about self-control. Is there really such a thing? I mean, I'm the first one to jump on here and to tell you that I lose control sometimes. I mean, there are times when I just feel, man, bulletproof, ironclad. And then there's other times that I lose it. And you know what? As a female, the time of the month might have something to do with that. So keep in mind that hormones, no matter how these 6 tips that I'm going to give you, how helpful they are, you've always got to take into consideration that maybe, you have a hormonal imbalance because it's that time of the month or anything like that, that it's really going to make it difficult for you. It's life, but I'm hoping that these 6 tips, at least one of them will help you if you find yourself lacking self-control. And when I say that, I know it sounds like such a weakness, like I don't have any self-control, and it makes you think, gosh, I don't, what kind of a human being am I if I can't control what I put in my mouth, if I can't control what I do with my spare time, kind of a thing. But it is tough. It is, in this day and age, it is so tough. So please give yourself grace. If you find yourself falling off the bandwagon all the time, not being able to stick to something, it's tough. So acknowledge the fact that what you are trying to do is not an easy task, but it is very doable. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is, of course, to be prepared. And there are so many ways that you can be prepared. So when I'm talking about, changing your lifestyle and having a more healthy lifestyle, I'm mostly talking about your exercise and your diet. Those 2 things, for the most part, are what I'm talking about. Because when I ask people, where do you struggle the most? Believe it or not, it is nutrition. I would say probably, 60% of the time, and 40% are people saying, I just can't get myself active. So you've got to be prepared. So does that mean, so for me, ways that I am prepared is I know I have a schedule, and I know when I work out. I get up in the morning, I put my workout clothes on, I put my shoes on, I know what program I'm going to do. That is so important to me to know, okay, tomorrow is going to be chest and back, or it's going to be a cardio day, or I'm going to get on my bike. I know ahead of time. So I'm mentally prepared the next day to get that workout in. You could set your clothes out in the morning. You could put a timer on your phone. You could ask a friend, phone a friend. You can ask your partner, your spouse to help you. You could get yourself a dog. I'm giving you permission to buy a dog that you have to walk every morning. Is your spouse going to kill me for that? But something that gets you prepared for the activity that you need to do to create that healthy lifestyle. So schedule it, get help from other people, put cues out, even me filling up my water bottle the night before. So when I wake up, I don't have to think. I just know, oh, there's my big bottle of water. I'm going to drink it. And then I have my coffee. If I forget to fill that water bottle, you bet your bottom dollar that I just kind of go, oh. My water machine, which is filled with, it's a distilled water machine, and I put trace minerals in it, electrolytes, is in the other room, and I'm tired. And so and if I pick up that water bottle and I'm like, oh, it's empty. Ugh, I just want to reach for the coffee pot, which is actually a lot closer than the water, that coffee. So being prepared, think about what it is that you can do, because everybody's different. What can you do that will help you that next day or even during that day to have schedule and to have consistency in your life. The next one is to actually schedule everything. I just got off a podcast with Tanisha, amazing lady. And she said one of the first things that she did on her health and fitness journey was she hired a trainer, and she decided that there was nothing. And she's a CEO of a very large company, but decided there was nothing that was going to keep her from the 3 workouts a week that she scheduled with these trainers. They were in her calendar, they were in her team's calendar, and there was nothing that was important enough that would take her away from those 3 workouts. That's the mentality that you need to have. If you meal prep on Sundays, nothing is going to change that. From 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Sundays, you are meal prepping. If you make dinner for your family, and you need to block out 5 to 6 to prepare for that meal every single day, that's your time. Find a way to enjoy it. Play loud music, have, groceries on hand, have your recipes scheduled ahead of time, be prepared. Those kind of things will make the biggest difference. When we go to the point that we are trying to wing exercise, or to wing our meals, even your sleep schedule, it just never turns out the way that we want it to. So to be prepared, and then to also schedule those things. I don't schedule my sleep, but I watch the clock come 7:30. And I know at 7:30, funny enough, my Oura ring tells me my bedtime is between 7:15 and 8:15. How old am I? I swear it's on a different time zone. But I am, I have studied the circadian rhythm, and I do believe going to bed earlier and getting up earlier is better. So it's telling me it's that time, because I try to get up in the morning around 6 a.m. And so it's telling me to prepare for bedtime. So the Oura ring is great for that, but that is scheduling and preparing. Now, the next one I want to talk about is to change your routine. So we all know that if you can imagine, you drive home, and say for 6 months, every time you drove home, you went through, I'm just going to say Jamba Juice. It's the first thing that popped in my mind. We have a little drive-through Jamba Juice. Do you guys have those? There's one that's probably about 10 or 15 minutes away from me that I see all the time, because it's honestly right next to my bank. I've never gone through the drive-through. I know how much sugar's in those things. But say for 6 months that you stopped through and got yourself, a small Jamba Juice to go home, and you decided, I really want to cut back on my sugar, and so I don't want to get these, but yet you're still driving past it every single day. Oh, that's unnecessary. There are enough roads out there that you can find a slightly different route, which will rewire your brain so that you don't have to think about that Jamba Juice, because you're passing it every single day. It's so healthy to change course. Even if you're considering starting intermittent fasting, or you're used to eating, say, 6 small meals a day, but you kind of want to change that to 3 larger meals a day. There's a thing called the Pavlovian Reflex. And for lack of a better term or definition, it's really just habit. So say, for instance, you usually wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and by 6:30, you're eating, what are those called? Belvitas, those little tiny crackers. I think they're from Europe or something like that. Or you're used to just grabbing a banana at 6:30 in the morning, but you're like, what? I really want to give this intermittent fasting a try. So I really don't want to have this cracker or this banana at 6:30 in the morning. Hell, you're going to wake up for a while at 6:30 and feeling starving, especially since, those are, one's very highly refined and one's high in sugar. Your body's going to be like, where's my banana? Go get me I am not going to turn on until you get me my banana. And it just takes a little bit of time. So if you change your routine, so if you're used to waking up in the morning and coming in the kitchen and having your water, and then having a cup of coffee and grabbing for that banana, my goodness, grab that cup of coffee and immediately walk outside and take a walk around your house, and just change the schedule a little bit so that your body is like, oh, this is different. And I promise you, it will shorten the habit that you have of feeling like you need something when you really, truly don't, especially if you're doing it in the name of health. Going and getting your super fancy Starbucks coffee, every morning, changing that routine, bringing your coffee with you, all of these things, change that routine. That's probably, I would say, is just about the most important thing that you can do when you're trying to make a change. Don't make it hard by keeping the same routine and trying to change what you do, because it is literally, you're just banging your head against a wall. Change the routine. As simple as where you stand when you drink your coffee can make a huge difference on that mental need to do the old thing because you're comfortable with it, instead of trying to change your routine and do something new, which your body is always a little uncomfortable with. Are you ready to learn the secret behind how I continue to be so healthy? Well, it all comes down to science. If you've been listening to my show for a while now, you may have heard me mention something called the M.A.D.E diet. Yes, that's right, because I'm so passionate about how learning about the effects that nutrition has on the human body, I always seek to learn as much as I can and apply that knowledge. One of my best learning tools has been self-experimentation. And now in my late 40s, I have to say, I've done a pretty good job. It's hard to find trustworthy, even accurate information in this country. Between the influence of big corporations with monetary agendas, the nutrition labels designed to deceive, and downright misleading information that you were taught in school, navigating food and nutrition with your optimum health in mind can be quite challenging. Take the food pyramid, for example. In an ideal world, I'm sure we would all love to eat pasta and baguettes for every meal, but that's simply not what's best for our bodies, our health, and our longevity. Now, I spent years developing the M.A.D.E diet in a way that I wish someone had taught me, and I break it all down in my M.A.D.E diet course. People are always asking me what I eat, so we start there. What I eat in a day and which foods are the most beneficial. So think something in between the Mediterranean and the paleo diet. It's a lifestyle plan that incorporates moderate protein, adequate fat, decreased carbs, and an introduction to intermittent fasting. But please, I want you to keep in mind, just because I say decrease carbs, I don't mean decrease carbs in what your body needs. I just mean decrease carbs in what the standard American diet has become. You still get plenty of quality carbohydrates, just not in the mass amounts we have been eating to get us into such an unhealthy state. And of course, we're going to talk about what foods to avoid, because that's just as important. We even talk about how to eat healthy on the go, because let's face it, we're busy and that's just life. And then there's intermittent fasting. I share all of my favorite tips and tricks, and a lot of science are along the way. I could not say enough good things about intermittent fasting, and I'm honestly so surprised more people aren't doing it. You'll also learn how I've learned to balance my hormones and feel my best, because so many women struggle with this. And lastly, we cover the mindset behind making a change, because we all know that your mindset is the key to your success in anything that you do. So if you are struggling with diet in terms of feeling your best, or you are ready to take your health to the next level, I strongly recommend you check out this course. Now, the course is structured in 5 modules, 16 lessons, and a whole lot of research to back everything up. So I want you to visit my website, themaidediet.com or melissamaid.com, and you will see a tab for the course. Click on that to get access today and learn why you should be eating this way too. All right, so let's talk about, I put the Pavlovian Reflex there as one of the 6, just keeping in mind that your body does love routine. And if you have a routine, a habit that you're wanting to change, it's going to resist. Your body loves routine and it loves habit, and that's a good thing. But transitioning from something that is less than healthy for you to something that's going to serve you so much better physically and mentally, there's going to be some pushback from your body. It's going to tell you, I want this, I need this, give it to me now. We've all been there. I also want you to consider getting support. Gosh, could it be your spouse? Could it be your partner? Maybe not. Your best friend, your neighbor, your coworker. There's just so many people that you can think to reach out to. I notice all the time on the street that I live on, a couple of ladies I see walking together all the time. And I think, how valuable is that to have somebody that either they live in the same house or they're neighbors, but they make the effort at this time, we're going to walk together, because you know this, and this has been proven that most people a few exceptions that, I guess care about themselves more than other people, that you don't want to let somebody else down. It's way more important to you not to let somebody else down than it is for you to let yourself down. So even when you declare, I am going to cut back on my sugar, I know I'm eating way too much. I'm telling everybody I love because I want your support. Are you going to do a better job of cutting back on sugar as opposed to just holding it to yourself and saying, well, I think I'm going to cut back on sugar, but I'm not going to say anything in case I fail? What are the odds that you're going to fail if you keep it to yourself as opposed to asking for that support? I always joke with people that when you go to a party and there's just going to be, this massive amounts of desserts and just it's a glycemic heaven, haven, and all of this stuff. And you've been doing so good and you really want to remain good. Like right now, I've got the levels CGM, and that thing is a great accountability partner because I don't want to see my blood glucose spike. I really don't. It really helps me make better decisions because I don't want to see that huge spike. I instantly feel so bad for my body, and every once in a while it's okay, but it does make me make better conscious decisions. So if you're going to a party, again, with a partner or a spouse or a friend or coworker, give them permission to say, hey, if you see me reaching for something, slap it out of my hand. And you can say it jokingly, but that person's going to just put the big shit-eaten grin on their face going, okay, I'll take on that challenge. People love that authority. And it'll help you if you really don't want to have something, or you can go, a little bit, to the right field and say, I really just want to have a couple of bites of things, or I really just want to allow myself one treat. So help me decide which treat just looks the best to me and let me enjoy it, but please don't let me have any more than that. Okay. Asking for that support. There's no shame in that whatsoever. Like I said in the very beginning of this is hard. We have billions of dollars are spent on trying to make you crave something as hard as you possibly can. You hear that? Billions of dollars, probably trillions, are spent on finding ways to make you obsess about certain foods. Okay. It is a hard battle, especially in the beginning. So ask for that support. And then last but not least, be patient and make yourself small goals. I can't stress enough that when I say small goals in the beginning, I mean very small. So say, for instance, let's go back to you having breakfast, and there's the cracker or the banana, and you make it past your first day of holding off and waiting till you get to work to have your 2 hard-boiled eggs and your protein shake. I don't know, just throwing that out there. Celebrate that. Your very first little victory, literally celebrate it. I want you to go on social media and say, this may not be a big deal to you, but it is to me, and I'm proud of myself. Or call your best friend and say, I did it. I got out of the house without eating the crackers I know I don't need. This is huge. So you've got to celebrate the very small steps, especially in the beginning, that you make, because it's really most difficult. The first 3 days, first 3 to 5 days is probably the most difficult if you're trying to make especially dietary changes. You are going to have these voices coming out of nowhere telling you you need to eat this, your body is craving this, life is too short, when deep down inside you want to eat better and you want to, life isn't that short, you want to extend your life and have longevity and roll around on the floor with your great grandchildren and travel the world in your 80s. And eating the way that maybe you're eating right now might hinder that. And so celebrate those small wins openly, publicly, privately. Make yourself a little money jar. And every time you do a good deed, put $1 in there and then do whatever you want with that money. Go on a little girls' trip, buy yourself a beautiful new blouse, get your hair did, something to celebrate the fact that you are making very difficult changes in the beginning to create this healthy lifestyle that is going to, listen to me, carry you physically. You're going to have a better quality and quantity of life if you just really work on exercising more and having a whole foods-based diet. Just better life in general. You're going to have better relationships because of that. you're going to be happier and have more energy, and people are going to want to be around you. And professionally, like I said, I just got off a podcast with Tanisha Warner, and she's CEO of this huge company. And the fact that she changed the way that she was eating and committing to exercise on a regular basis made her such a better business owner and a more productive business owner. You've heard the stats of people that exercise and eat healthy and their sick days versus people that don't. You're just going to be better personally, in relationship wise, emotionally. That is huge. And then even professionally, every aspect of your life will be better when you make positive changes in your life to live healthier. Okay. The occasional treat, enjoy, especially if you're traveling or you have a friend that took the time to make you this beautiful birthday cake, eat the cake. But to get out of those habits that you do every morning, and please, I'm not demonizing bananas. Bananas are great. They've got great nutrition in them. It's just maybe having, especially as metabolically unhealthy as many of us are, a banana by itself first thing in the morning is not your best pick. Have it with some peanut butter during lunch, but not all by itself. It's just not your best choice. Neither are those crackers. Those crackers are just full of crap, bad oils, refined flour. Ugh. Please don't let them tell you that they're healthy. They're not. Anyway, going off on the rant when it comes to that, but you make these changes. Make these changes. Start small, be prepared, ask for help. Know that your body is used to habit and it's going to fight you on it. Know that. So change your routine so that you can change the way that your mind thinks about the way you eat, when you eat, what you eat. And you are going to create a very healthy lifestyle for not only you, but for the people that are immediately around you right now. And hopefully it can become generational, because this is huge. We need to start making huge changes now so our generations to come start going back to actually eating food cooked in the home. Recognizable food that isn't frozen or in a package, but is actually made with love. And that's just a whole other episode. But as always, MADE also stands for making a difference every day. I want you to wake up feeling prepared, just like we talked about. And I want you to go to bed feeling proud, which is a small win. Every time you put your head down on that pillow, that is a small win that I want you to celebrate. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Wow, we've reached the end. But before I leave you, I'd love to hear from you. After all, it's not every day that someone reaches out and asks for your opinion. And to me, your opinion does matter. So please share this episode with anyone that you think needs to hear this message. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. My name is Melissa McAllister. And until next time, thank you for being your own health advocate.